Look, what is a mount? Professor Phillips down, head that way. I got Professor Phillips in a side control here, okay? And my goal is to mount, okay? In order for me to really mount him, I need to clear the way across his hip line, across his belt line. Preferably, I want to keep him flat, because if he turns to his side, I don't really have a mount, okay? It's more of an S mount, but then I have to kind of go around his back or kind of over, but he creates an obstacle. For me to get a mount, I got into right in this triangle zone that I tell you guys always protect: the knee, elbow, okay? Okay, the hip and the shoulder right here. 1, 2, 3. In order for me to get into a side control, I have to separate that, okay? In order for me to mount him, I have to keep it separated, okay? So let's say if I go here and I keep, yeah, see how he makes it difficult? So I go here, I step over here, and if you look and see, I was able to separate his elbows, his knees, and now I'm attacking, okay? If you kind of think to yourself, well, how does he prevent or recover from getting mounted? He has to reclaim the space between his elbows and knees and that triangle, and literally evict me out of that space, okay? So how do we do that? Number one, you have to be able to defend it before you even get into kind of a side control position. But if you got into side control, means that there was a breakdown here. My elbow and my knee got separated here, okay? But let's say I stayed determined to keep this knee reconnecting with my elbow like long lost relatives, okay, that haven't seen each other for far too long, right? What happens is that Professor Phillip, he puts his knee on my belly to mount, okay? And as he mounts, I push the trailing knee and I get into a half guard, or I can begin to move my hip out and recover a guard, okay? What happens here is that you gotta understand there's a beginning, middle, end to every position. To every roll, there's a beginning, middle, end, but the end is usually some kind of submission or time, okay? From here, I have to recognize, go back to the guard pass. This is the middle of the guard pass. I'm already kind of have to figure out, do I stop defending the middle of the guard pass and transition to the next position? Because it'll be the beginning of my half guard or guard recovery, which will be the end of his guard pass. So I need to kind of block him from being able to effectively finish passing the guard, which means me staying on my side, even a little bit, because being flat is bad for me, good for him. So as he's passing, I'm already prepping my left underhook to make it difficult for him. I'm on my side right here, and I'm framing this leg right here so I can stay on my side. The reason why I do this is because I know at some point he's gonna begin to try to mount me right here, okay? So as he begins, see how his knee comes up right here? But this knee is gonna begin to get light the closer this knee that's on my belly gets to the ground. You see how that right there? And I can just push it into a half guard here, turn on my side and get an underhook here. I can begin to get a half guard and move up, or recover a guard. I probably prefer to do a half guard. So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna do kind of a drill. Because what's gonna happen is that, oh my guard right here. So here's the beginning of his guard pass. Let's say theoretically, yes, here, it's middle right here. I have to begin to prep for the beginning of my recovery from presumably a side control without letting him get side control. Because if I'm gonna fight this, okay, and don't start the beginning of my recovery, he's gonna begin to get control of my head. He's gonna go here and he's gonna flatten me out, okay? Now this is really bad for me. So now I'm gonna start from here to begin to recover my guard, half guard, or escape side control. I'm already way too far dug in a hole than I really want to be. because I should have started sooner. I should have abandoned fighting for something that was futile, and I should have got ahead of him. Because the second I start the beginning of my recovery, I begin to disrupt the end of his guard pass. So go back. So we're here, and let's say theoretically he's passing my guard, which never happens here. And look, and I'm already here, and I'm creating a challenge for him, okay, to turn me on my side. I mean, to get me flat. I'm blocking that leg, because I know for him to walk around my head, he's gonna need that leg to walk around. I can block it here. I can now begin to get underhooks here. But let's say he begins to get his knee on, yes, right here, look, right here. As he slides that knee, I stay on my side, and I begin to frame this leg, push it down into a half guard, and get this automatic underhook as I begin to get underneath him and progress to a half guard. From here, I can be heavy, I can stretch out, I can begin to get on top. And now, look, I'm getting to the end of my progression from being on the bottom to get to the top. How? Through an underhook and through pushing his knee in a half guard. So you're down. The way essentially that this works, what we're gonna do is this. You're gonna feel that flat is bad, turn on your side a little bit, spread your feet wide, okay? Because this hip is higher than this. It creates a higher point for me to have to be able to come down on. And my trailing knee is gonna be like, right here. So look, watch. So as I go here, okay, there's gonna become a point where there's only so much weight I'm gonna have on my left knee as I go here, and then it's when he pushes it, yes, and then he turns, yes, and now he's got an underhook. Okay? You have to anticipate that. You have to believe that that's what happens and that's how it works. And what he does is he reclaims that space. You go here? So look, I'm just gonna let him have it. I go here, and now as I apply pressure, he doesn't wanna let me flatten him flat, because flat is good for me. So here, if this knee comes up, it's even easier. But typically they'll keep the knee down, because look, what he's doing is he's reclaiming this triangle right here. But as I'm making it here, look, I have all my weight on my left knee, but the second this leg comes down, that knee's light. He pinches, scoots, and he just keeps going. Go, half guard, up and out. Okay? Because why stop? Your objective is to go to the top. Bring your head that way. Watch. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna do a basic exercise here, okay? You'll be on two knees, your hands are gonna go here. I'll put my wrist down because my wrist is creased. So you're framing here, okay? With your kind of forearm, whatever that is right there, just above the elbow, okay? Just below. As I go down here, you're gonna crunch and push my knee. See, I'm floating. Yes, from here, pinch, that, and you're already going out. Good. One more time. We're just gonna do it from the typical side, but you can do it from both sides right here. Because look, if he keeps his like here and this right here, look how much work I got to do in order to be able to even get him into side control. Okay, I have to separate all this, but let's say I get here, he stays on the side, but I want these feet wide. Okay, because what happens is that if he flattens his hip, my knee can hit the mat sooner. Here, there's this ramp. So as I go here, right there, feel the light here, pinch, scoot, and there you go. Okay? So that's all you're gonna do. You can do it 3 times each, and you're gonna help each other. Push your head that way. In order for me to mount him, I typically have to bring my left knee closer to my right. Because if I'm like this, there's only so, it doesn't even make sense. It's very uncomfortable until you're going that way, okay? It typically does this. As I begin to go here, and push it down. Okay? And it's almost like I slip off of him, okay? One more time, head that way. Oh, actually, head this way. Slide this way. Here, and watch. Look how this is where my knee goes light, right there. See, my knee didn't even hit. Okay, and he goes. All right, let me do it for you guys. huh? And it just has to be smooth. But what are you doing? You're guiding this knee into a half guard. And you have to use your leg to hook, pinch, and then your feet mat, and you turn onto your left side while screwing your hips out. So as he goes here, okay, and I get low, and I usually block this knee because he needs this knee for base. Okay? Here, here, yes. See, I'm able to turn onto my left side. But ideally what I want is to just keep going. Here, here he goes. Because I am starting in the middle, finishing my progression to the top. From here, he stays on the bottom, suck for him. He'll turn onto his side like a fetus. It's bad for him. I have this, all kinds of stuff, okay? All you're gonna do, one more thing, watch this, and I keep my hip high. This I'm framing. As he goes, look, elbow and knee connect. Look, right here. So I'm gonna straighten my knees, went up, and this underhook is a clamp. I don't wanna see this, like you're taking off the slitter, okay? It's not the way it works, it's this, because if you start posturing back up, I need you to drive your weight forward, okay? And stay connected here, because this really sucks here. Okay, but you want to, okay, you guys understand? So the motion is basically this, push it, and then you come up, okay? So 3, up your partner. Everybody is mounting from the bottom person's right side. Ready, 1, 2, 3. Feel free to use the overflow mats, guys, ladies. Drillers are killers.